Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. I'm checking in with all of you. Can you hear me and see me clearly? Okay, please let me know otherwise. In our Upanishad, there is a lovely teaching by the name of Shiva Sankalpa Sukta. The essential message of Shiva Sankalpa Sukta is to divinize the mind, to never let the mind have any sort of fabric or taste of that which is not divine. Trying to understand this more practically, it is for the individual mind, like mine and yours, to understand the total mind. The total mind is God's mind. And that's why so much of what we do in Meaningful Mornings is learn how to let go of individuality, how to think big, to think of infinity. Chapter 9 is the middle chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Though in 18 chapters, there's no middle chapter, but the middle verse comes in chapter 9. In the past verses, which are sharing a very special jnana, a wonderful orientation towards how to think like the total mind. In verse 4, Sri Krishna shares, I am not in them. Changing the words, infinity is not in the finite. They're mutually exclusive. In verse 5, he shares, they are not in me. The implication of this, there is no they. There is no individuality. That's a most relieving sentiment, that I'm not an individual, I am infinite. In verse 6, Sri Krishna gives a visual for us that air depends on space. The implication being that space is not affected, not afflicted by air. If Vivek is tuning into this knowledge, that means I am the space, the existence, the awareness. I am not to be affected or afflicted by the air, notions of my ego, notions of my thoughts, and so on. In verse 7, Shri Krishna shares, those who do not have faith, they do not have faith in this trust triangle, divinity, map, guide, then what happens? They end, their individuality ends, which means it becomes unconscious, and then they emerge. Their individuality that's unconscious becomes conscious. And can you remind me, how often does this happen? Again and again and again. In verse 8, Sri Krishna shares, that is all Prakriti. I am Purusha. Purusha means Purnatva. I am complete. I don't act for completion. I am complete. And so all that is happening in terms of Prakriti, I am not dependent on that. So I am not limited by that. The implication that I left you with from yesterday morning's verse was, evolution is not automatic. Physical evolution is automatic. Every generation is born with less hair now. Some of you are highly evolved. I'm highly devolved. And the point is, we don't need hair for warmth anymore. We wear clothes, we have heating. But did you do that on purpose? I'm willing my hair away. It just happens, it's automatic. But one's inner evolution is not automatic. This requires, it is not optional, vision. In every experience that you have the vision, you are not this, na iti, you are this, iti. Letting go, thinking big. Sri Krishna continues with this thought, but shifts from a more technical language to a more experiential language. Chapter 9, verse 9. It is quite incredible that we have made it this far. There's 1,000 reasons why Meaningful Mornings should not have continued, that we just finished chapter 2. But the steadiness that we have in our lives together, that is only because Sri Krishna is willing this. Have faith that he is organizing all of this. Nacha mam tani karmani nibhadnanti dhananjaya udasina vadasinam asaktam teshu karmasu. First quarter. Tani karmani. Those actions. Na mam. Those actions are not my actions. Those are not me. Elaborating on this word karmani. All of you, what were you doing right before you joined Meaningful Mornings? Please share in the chat. Sleeping. Some of you still are sleeping. I said before, which means you were awake, then sleeping, and you're continuing. Have you ever reflected on the genesis of your actions? All day we're acting, but why do you act? Actions are like the tip of the iceberg, like that 1/10. Our actions come from our words. Our words come from our thoughts. Our thoughts come from our desires. And our desires come from our prints or vasanas. I'm saying it slowly because prints can sound like prince or any other word you may hear. Our blueprint. From blueprint to action. And please remember, your actions then nurture your words and thoughts and desires and prints. So it just keeps going back and forth. My unconscious to subconscious to conscious, my conscious to subconscious to unconscious. That only affects those who feel that they are limited. They're the ones who are limited by this cycle. Nibadnanti. That's them. I am different. Nibadnanti, I am free. Nibadnanti means not bound, so I am free. And Shri Krishna uses one of the best names for Prince Arjuna here, Dhananjaya. I love this name. There's so many Dhananjayas that I know that have shortened their name in the workplace to Dan. Hi, I'm Dan. You should say Namaskara, Aham Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means Dhana Jaya, the one who's in control of Dhana, not the one who's controlled by Dhana. Dhana means resources. They freely give. They give without asking. Put in a very simple sense, Dhananjaya means the one who does not collect, does not have stuff that she does not use. What do we have that is useless? Our prints, our vasanas. And now an amazing part of this chapter and this verse. Asinam, Shri Krishna is sharing, I'm sitting. How? Udasina vat. I am sitting like one who is indifferent. All of our Hindi speakers, udasa does not mean sad. Udasa means to asana, to sit above. Like when you fly and you're at 40,000 feet in the air, there's no turbulence there. You're sitting above turbulence. Udasina. Please listen to this carefully. These are the most important parts of this verse. Shri Krishna says, asinam, he is sitting, which means he is not doing, he is being. He is just being. Those who are practicing contemplation, those who are practicing silence, that's the end. To be. The implication of this, he is not the cause. A cause only has reality if there's an effect. If there's no effect, that means there's no cause. Shri Krishna is being. See, there's so many who think they're very intelligent because they know this about medicine, or they know this about accounting, or they know this about engineering. But these thoughts that are being shared are beyond effect and cause. It's a unique, sacred intelligence that is required to experience these verses, these teachings. Another implication of this quarter is, and this is for us more practically, if you don't feel you're the doer, then naturally you're not going to feel like you're the deserver. Agreed? If you didn't do it, why do you deserve it? And if you don't feel like you're the deserver, then you are not the depender. Those who are always living for deservership or expectation, then they're really living by likes and dislikes, attachment, aversion. In Pujya Swami Chinmayananda's commentary, he gives the example of, for the beginner seeker, when they look from the east or west coast, they see waves. For the intermediate seeker, what do they see? The ocean. What is the advanced seeker's vision? There's just water. No waves, no ocean. Their vision is the highest, the deepest. If I went to the Atlantic Ocean and asked the water, what are you doing? The water will say, what are you doing? Why are you talking to me? You're hallucinating right now. That water is just being. Nature is like that. We have to unlearn to be like that too. And now we go back to chapter 3. The third quarter is very reminiscent of chapter 3. Asaktam teshu karmasu. In all of our actions, what should our vision be? Our attitude be? Asakta, not saki. Asakta means not saki. Not individualistic, not expecting. Last reflection. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the 9th section speaks about vasana nasha, to destroy prince. And for those in this course I'd shared, the only way to do this is disidentification. Dormancy is not the same as disidentification. To disidentify from one's prince is the way to be free. So all we do should be directed to disidentifying from small-heartedness. From inspiration to application. Your application recently was to believe in aliens or reflect on a whole. I'll debrief on that soon. Another application was, what virtue are you sharing with others? I'll debrief on that soon. Here is your application until we meet tomorrow. I want you to show no emotion for the coming day. Some of you are like that in class. So the way you're in class, just continue. No emotion is your application. Shanti, shanti, shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.